Good evening again, and welcome to another edition of the CDC Hour. The CDC Hour is a 60-minute package that looks into activities of the Congress for Democratic Change and other national issues that affect the fabrics of our society. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, and we'll be looking into a very important issue today. That is the CDC also has released a statement since yesterday condemning the government's attack, malicious attack and lies against Bomi County Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, and also a continuation of the due payment at the headquarters of the CDC. The due books are ready, so I will inform you on all of those issues uh, as we come back after a bit of our theme song.
Celebrate where most go corridor. Go days I wanna go there. Go celebrate.
Thank you very much and welcome back to the program. This is the CDC Hour. It comes to you on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:50 in the evening. And so, first of all, the CDC due payment continues at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change in Congo Town, Monrovia. And for those of you who paid your dues the last time, I'm told to inform you that your due books are ready, your receipts are ready, and so you can make it your business to go and pick them up whenever you are opportune to go to the headquarters of the CDC. And other people are continuing to pay their dues in different categories of payment because the CDC is a way of life. The CDC is a Marxist party that was founded on the shoulders of the grassroots majority of our people. And so, on the basis of that, they have decided to take a sense of ownership of their party by paying dues to make sure to give the party a very strong financial position moving forward to different elections and different spending activities of the party, be it acquiring new offices, whether renting or leasing or building. And so the CDC is projected to be in a very strong financial position at least a year from now. And so that's why partisans are queuing up every day at the headquarters to pay their dues. And maybe we will not get tired saying this, but our plans are almost finalized for the decentralization of the due payment to the districts because the districts are all requesting for the decentralization of the process so that our ordinary partisans can troop into their district headquarters to pay their dues to the party. And so the party has listened, the chairman has listened, the entire National Executive Committee, and thereby configuring a team of experts, financially and administratively, to move into the district to collect your dues. And so do not stress yourself too much. The team is coming to you, and we are going to be at your doorstep very, very soon. Like I said, the most important that we're discussing here today is that the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC, has taken on the debate between the government of Liberia and Bomi County Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. As a matter of fact, few days ago, the government wrote a very damaging lie, uh, dangerous lie, a dangerous propaganda against Snow on the basis of falsehood, attributing to him statements that he did not make. And so Senator Snow has since fired back at the government. And in fact, Senator Snow has informed the Senate through a written communication and also other bodies across the region that his life is not secured, his life is not safe, and so his life is in the hands of the government. The government has remained very adamant and arrogant in that process, with the Minister of Information, a very arrogant guy, coming out to make continual derogatory statement against the senator of Bomi County, to the extent that threatening his life. The entire government is threatening the life of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. And so the CDC has taken on the debate just like any other opposition political party and civil society organizations. And so on yesterday, the CDC released this statement directly from the office of the chairman, Honorable Janga Augustus Cole. Uh, it reads, Coalition for Democratic Change, Office of the National Chairman, National Headquarters, uh, opposite Lone Star Steel, Congo Town, Republic of Liberia. For immediate release, May 27, 2025. The CDC condemns Buakai administration's political persecution of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow and continued assaults on democratic governance in Liberia. The Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, unequivocally condemns the Buakai administration's politically motivated targeting of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, a prominent opposition lawmaker and ECOWAS parliamentarian. The government's baseless declaration of Senator Snow as a national security threat. The government's baseless declaration of Senator Snow as a, quote, national security threat, unquote, absent any credible evidence, is a reckless and unconstitutional act aimed at silencing dissent and consolidating political control. The dangerous maneuver violates Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution, which enshrines the right to freedom of expression and political participation for all citizens, including members of the opposition. Such undemocratic behavior mirrors the characteristics of authoritarian regimes, not a government sworn to uphold democratic norms. Moreover, this is not an isolated incident. The CDC recalls with great concern how the same administration subverted Ambassador D. Maxwell Sakimaya's ECOWAS appointment as special representative to Freetown, using state influence to undermine his international diplomatic appointment. This pattern of harassment, intimidation, and callous use of powers of the state for selfish political goals reveals a deeper systemic abuse of power by the Buakai government, by the Buakai-led government, one that deliberately weaponizes public institutions to marginalize perceived political threats. These acts form part of a broader trend of unconstitutional conduct. Most recently, the administration demonstrated blatant disregard for the Constitution and the authority of the Supreme Court, Using, during the just ended legislative crisis, President Bwakai's conspicuous violation of judicial rulings and constitutional boundaries represents a dangerous erosion of the rule of law and a direct affront to Liberia's democratic order. Unlike President Bwakai, former President George M. Weah upheld Liberia's democratic traditions by allowing the then opposition leader, Joseph Numa Boakai, to express dissent freely without fear of intimidation or reprisal. The CDC, therefore, demands that the Boakai administration 1. Immediately retract all unsubstantiated allegations made against Senator Erin Melvin Snow. 2. Publicly apologize to Senator Snow and the Liberian people for this politically charged abuse of authority. 3. Cease all efforts to weaponize state institutions against political opponents. Furthermore, we call on the Liberian people to remain vigilant and actively defend their hard-won constitutional rights. ECOWAS, the African Union, and Liberia's international partners to take strong note of these developments, publicly condemn this growing wave of political repression, and monitor Liberia's adherence to democratic and human rights obligations. The CDC reaffirms its unwavering commitment to democracy, liberty, justice, and the rule of law. We stand united with all patriotic Liberians in protecting the democratic foundations of our republic from authoritarian regression. We hold the government accountable for the safety and security of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. Again, let me read. We hold the government accountable. We hold the government accountable for the safety and security of Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, as the unfounded allegations against him constitute a serious threat to his person. Issued by the National Executive Committee, Congress for Democratic Change, under the signature of Attorney Janga Augustus Kowo, Chairman, Congress for Democratic Change. So that is the CDC statement in response to the government's reckless overreach, to the government's reckless statement against Senator Erin Melvin Snow, that Senator Snow wants to subvert the government, to overthrow the government, to undermine the Constitution of the Republic, and subvert the state, to overthrow the government of President Joseph Numa Boakai, all of which are malicious, lies, deception, propaganda, and a government overreach in order to target him, intimidate him, and silence him. So, Senator Snow, what we can say is the opposition is with you. The CDC stands with you firmly in these difficult times in your political career. We will never abandon you as a political institution. You are a member of the opposition, a very responsible member too, representing the country at the regional body ECOWAS that's responsible for regional peace, security, and cooperation and integration. And so, Senator Snow, the CDC stands with you very firmly in these times of turmoil in your political career. We will never abandon you. The political leader of our party is a man of peace. The political leader of the CDC and the entire CDC as a whole are people of peace. Their peaceful nature are emblematic of the fact that uh, when we took power in this country from 2018 to 2023, Liberia was a very peaceful country. Liberia was somehow, to a larger extent, a united country under the rule of law and the principles of good governance. So these unwarranted political gimmicks will not work. Senator Snow, you have all rights to be uh, scared, to fear for your life, because as we speak, since the government took power in 2024, January 22nd, we have had we have had the death, we have experienced the death of over 264 people very mysteriously who have died all across the country. Some of them, in fact, some of them were shot and killed by the very police that should be protecting lives and properties. Evident by a police officer who killed uh, a very innocent young man in the Banjo area. I think two incidences happened there. Uh, Police killed a boy in the Bad Bush area in Banjo, and another police guy called Beckham, only known as Beckham, killed another young man in the same Banjo area. Recently, a police officer who's a commander of the police depot on the old road beat to death a pregnant woman, and so these are some of the issues. Police killed also, a man, a peaceful citizen, armless citizen in the Kawe area last year when they were assigned to the power theft team. And that happened in my community, in fact. And so the police have been killing people everywhere. So, Senator Snow, you have a legitimate concern to get scared, to be afraid for your life, but the CDC stands with you firmly uh, in this one. Okay, you are one of Liberia's foremost statesmen who has contributed immensely to the development of our country. You have been elected 3 times as representative of this country, one of the few that is including Representative Thomas Fala, Representative Buffalo Chambers, former Speaker of the House of Representatives. So you are just few that have enjoyed at least 3-time election in this country as representative. And today you have matriculated from the House of Representatives to the Senate, where you were overwhelmingly elected in 2020 to serve as senator of Bomi County, having been elected as representative of District Number 1 in Senja District, Bomi County. So, Senator Snow, the CDC stands with you, but the allegation itself, the lies, the deception on the part of the government in order to get at you, is not ordinary. I think the government fears something. Looking at or considering the government's dismal performance in almost 2 years, their fear is that government is failing, and so they want to use you and other people in the opposition as alibi to say that, look, it is because of the opposition, because of Senator Snow, that our government failed. The government is now continuing in the footsteps of the former government when we launched for Liberia a non-permanent membership of the UN Security Council. That process was launched, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in a unanimous statement in 2023, pledged their unflinching support to Liberia's bid of a non-permanent membership on the UN Security Council. So that started during that time. There is no Liberian, I don't think there is any Liberian in their conscious mind that will go against the country in getting or in obtaining a non-permanent membership on the Security Council of the United Nations. But again, when the government begins to get into reckless bravadoring, when the government begins to get into reckless activities, violating the rule of law, the principles of good governance, rampant corruption on industrial scales, okay, then what comes to mind is that the international community itself could have a second thought, like we are hearing in some corridors from some of our friends, even at ECOWAS, that ECOWAS is having a second look. ECOWAS is having a second look uh, at Liberia's request to aid of support uh, of a UN Security Council non-permanent membership. We hope that is not the case. We hope Liberia gets this seat because it is good for the country. But when the government begins to violate the human rights, the political rights, the fundamental rights of Liberians, the fundamental rights of its citizens, then there, there comes a need for concern of these activities as being perpetrated by the government. And so these guys are overreaching and they are arrogant, and in their arrogance they are very wicked, very, very wicked and corrupt. And we've listened to some of them. They feel that 6 years will never end. 6 years, they feel, is eternity, that they will remain in power forever. When, in fact, there have been governments that have come and gone. Almost 2 years ago, there was CDC in power. 12 years before then, there was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in power. I 2 years before Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took power, there was Charles Taylor in power. Uh, Before that, there was 14 years of civil war. Before the 14 years, Samuel Doe was in power. Okay, and so government government is, a lot of people say, continuity. Administrations come and go. And so if your administration comes and you feel that you will stay in power forever, it is left with you, especially when you are not providing the needs of the Liberian people. When in fact, when in fact, uh, uh, if you go to the markets, you interview the everyday Liberians, as it is being done by various media outlets across the country on a daily basis, where the people are complaining, the people are expressing their their disapproval of the government's performance, especially when it has to do with the economy. You cannot you cannot politicize the economy. You cannot politicize a man's hunger. A hungry man is an angry man. The man is hungry, but you begin to politicize his hunger. Look, You cannot politicize the economy. When the economy is bad, the country suffers. Now, the economy is bad. The economy is bad. The social, I mean, the circular flow of the economy is not working. The money is not going to the markets because most of those who have the jobs, most of those who have the public jobs and making the good money, the good bucks, right? They are not going to Douala market. They are not going to Red Light. They are not going to Rally Time. They're not buying, they're not going to those markets to buy goods and services. And so as a result, the money is not going to the market. So the marketers are complaining. Those monies are taken to the Lebanese in the supermarkets, in the stores. And so the Lebanese are foreigners. They take those monies back to their homeland and send in for new goods on the international market back to Liberia. So once John is working in the government, right? And he's paid he's paid at the end of the day. His wife goes to Douala market, his wife goes to Red Light and purchase foodstuffs, right? Purchase clothing and what have you. What's going to happen right there is that the money from his salary will trickle down to the market woman. Okay, but most I mean most of those who work in the government are imported bureaucrats who sit at the various ministries and agencies. Some of them, even the food they eat, they buy them from the supermarkets. They don't cook. They go to the supermarket, just buy the food, eat, and throw the plate away. So they don't wash plates. No, they don't wash plates. No, not at all. So the economy, the circular flow of the economy is not happening. Okay, it's not happening for from the government to the firm to the market. And so the circular flow of the economy is not happening. You have some economic pillagers, janjaweeds who sit in government. They take salaries as, like, for example, the FPRC managing director Amos Twe just transported his entire family to Ghana. Twe does not even have a chicken in his home right now. He comes home 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. Before he comes, he buys food from the supermarket, eat. People don't, so Twe got a heck about how you feel. What, so these are the kinds of people we have who are heading our various public institutions. Like the Minister of Finance recently, he went to the States. Imagine when people are hungry, he bought a camera worth $7,000, just a camera to take picture. Just to take picture. He meant when he bought a camera for $7,000. Do you know how many people need $7,000 to do business? Do you know how many? Even if you gave people 150 each, do you know how many people? $7,000 can establish a decent business for, and that money is not his salary. It is a money he stole from government, because Kafon cannot take his salary 7,000 to go put it in camera. No, it's not possible. He has his home to feed. So these are the guys who were all on the pavement, during George Weah time. That the country is this, the country is that. People are building this, people are building that. But have you seen some of their homes? Have you seen some of their homes? Recently, Honorable Rachel Kumbo, because for me, even now, I cannot give him deference as speaker. Rachel Kumbo went to West Point and he confessed there. What did he say? He said the embarrassment that they caused for the country in recent times was because they needed a ruling party speaker. They needed a speaker who will work with the ruling party, will work with the government. So democracy does not go that way. Democracy is painful because we come from different persuasions. We come from different persuasions to Capitol Hill because the entire government is situated on Capitol Hill. So we come from different persuasions, meaning we come from different counties, we come from different districts. We are elected by our people. We converge on Capitol Hill to do the business of the country, to do the work of the Liberian people. And so when we come to Capitol Hill, when we converge on Capitol Hill as a unit which we call government, you don't have to like me. No, you don't have to like me. I may not be a member of your political institution. I may not be a member of your party. No. But because we all were elected by the people, by the Liberian people, what we need to do, what we only need to do is to work together for the good of the country. Because working for the country makes us a unit. Makes us a unit. Working for the country makes us a unit. Of course. So once we are working together, once we are working together, we are going to succeed because whether I'm from CDC or you are from Unity Party or somebody is from the ANC, another person from the Liberty Party, or wherever, whatever persuasion we come from, okay, once you respect me and respect my rights to work in the government, right, things move smoothly. Who told you that around the world the standard is that people, speakers or and presidents should come from the same political party? And Richard Cohen went to West Point. He even lied. He lied and said, during George Weah government or during the CDC government, he said the speakership went to CDC because it was a CDC. In fact, he said United Party had more lawmakers than the CDC, but the CDC got the speakership because they were. They hijacked it. Richard Kuhn lied. As a matter of fact, in 2017, after the election, CDC had 22 representatives elected on its ticket. The UP had 21. There was just one difference. So, the CDC lawmakers and the UP lawmakers met and they struck a deal that because the CDC is the ruling party, so we should take the speakership. The UP being the main opposition in the legislature, or the main opposition in the country with 21 lawmakers, should take the deputy speakership. So, as a result of that, you saw Buffer Chambers becoming speaker. Buffer Chambers became speaker. And who became deputy speaker? The deputy speaker was Prince Moy. Prince Moy became deputy speaker from the Unity Party. Buffer Chambers became speaker from the Congress for Democratic Change. Coalition for Democratic Change. So Richard Kuhn, who is speaker now, he went to West Point and lied. He lied. That was a blatant lie. And again, he said after the election of 2023, Instead of United Party producing the speaker, he said he was defeated by 5 votes. That was true. He was defeated by 5 votes by Councillor J. Nati Kofa of the CDC. But he said the CDC outsmarted them and made them look stupid. No, Mr. Speaker, that is not true. You guys organized a process and went into a democratic process of voting, and Councillor Kofa beat you by 5 votes. It was that bitterness that remained in the Unity Party and you that you planned a coup against Councillor Funati Kofa and saw him removed unconstitutionally. And then he sought redress at the court, and the court guaranteed his rights before he resigned. And you had another kangaroo election and you won the speakership. You understand that? So Rachel Kuhn should not be lying. No, the Speaker of the Republic should not be a liar. And he's pathologically lying to the extent that he thinks people are believing him. Say, after the election, the Unity Party that is the ruling party should have produced a speaker. But then seditionists acted as though we were stupid, and so they outsmarted us and they produced the speaker. And so that speaker, once it is not a ruling, he was not a ruling party speaker, will undermine the government. We need a speaker that will move with the president, the government agenda. What kind of BS is that? So he was confessing that they created all those hula balloons, embarrassment to the country, to the government, to the Liberian people because of greed for power. Because of his greed for power. But Rachel Kuhn, I have a message for you. The day of reckoning will come. The day of reckoning will come. During your kangaroo process, during your kangaroo speakership, there were a lot of instruments. There may have been a lot of instruments passed under you, like the budget, different legislations. But I can assure you, during that period, look, there are people documenting. Lawyers are documenting. Prosecutors are documenting. Any next government that comes to power, if not a UP government, people will be prosecuted because your actions and the actions of your colleagues with you are tantamount to treason, sedition. You violated the Constitution. And so don't feel that it will stay like that. No, it won't stay like that. There will be a time for reckoning. Rachel Kuhn, James Collet, Fode Fambule, okay, P. Mark Jure, Clarence Guy. These are the rebel lawmakers, the Janjaweed lawmakers, the anti-rule of law people in the legislature, in the House of Representatives. Those are the names I'm calling. Clarence Guy from District 5, Magibi. District 2, Magibi Representative Ava Jones. Thomas Fala from Lofa District 1. Prince Toes, the bluff boy, the Black Board representative of District Number 8, who since going to the Capitol building, he has not even opened his mouth to talk in session. The time of reckoning will come. People will be prosecuted. There are people here. There are people here that are documenting everything. They are documenting everything, and the day that when that day reaches, they will come ahead. They will come up. They will come forward with evidence. There are enormous pieces of evidence to prosecute all of you. All of you who put the country through this pain, this agony. So that is that. So if you are there, in the next 2 minutes, you can begin placing your calls on 0772 239933 086 3044 97, or the female line on 0777 9803 75 0772 239933 086 30 44 97, or 0777 9803 75. You can begin placing your calls now. The lines are open. So the day of reckoning will come. Don't worry. I think we have a caller. Yeah, you want to bust my ear, my man? You want to bust my ears? So, let's take this call. You can call us on 0772 239933 086 3044 97, or the female line on 0777 9803 75. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, welcome to the CDC Hour.
Okay, thank you. This is Yaji. Yeah, but what you expect Richard Kun to say? The man, road is a rule. Road will never tell the truth. That's why you must know. Eh? That man is a bloody fool. The same thing you want him, but there's somebody he speaks for the church. That's why he brought in the public. Eh? What you expect that man to do? The man goes to the university campus, he gets plenty to the children. I need 25, I need 50 for him to pass. So what you expect? The man brought the city to the government. You don't expect anything. Road and road. I go pushing into his confessing. So you must know that the time will come, you get a kind of that money. So you must just be here with God. That's
okay, thank you.
Say. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For the time for the show.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Good afternoon. Cdc Hour.
Yeah, let's hear you. Let's hear you.
You know, they put in, they can't in with stealing, they can't in with lying. They are liar. In clear, they say, you know, you want to go. They can't, all they can't lie. And when they are the police was saying, I say, you see, they power your hijack the power. They may hijack the power. Many things will happen to them. That is starting here. I say, you see, they won't happen today. They all want to come. They will be picking at them. If you don't care the cattle, all the time, you will remain right in the city. But when you care all the time, it will be worse more than anyone. Thank you, Papa.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you for calling.
And I will tell our president to face the community. He must take on time of face the community and breaking from community to district. We don't want the people want seeing the old people. We don't want see how the people in their mind, baking you. You think president. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Try and bring the people around for the due payment. Let the people pay our due. They put every day they hammer king or they want.
So the time is coming. But when the government is feeling, that's what happens. You find a lot of gimmicks. You find a lot of political machinations in order to get rid of. Hello.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. Welcome to the CDC Hour.
Yeah, well, please tell this one for welcome. What is Pastor calling for grandkid Morgan?
Mr. Passaway,
Yeah,
let's hear you.
yeah, just try to tell them being the carrier for the top on the YouTube. Go way around by era.
Ba Fuboy or Ba Kanakai?
By football, by Kanaka go right to the pull line. And now, the time you can come rest.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, let's hear you. Welcome to the CDC Hour.
Yeah. I was saying my best is your community. If you have to, we get up to go to the fire quarter. Just try your car to the 14. Hello.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
For our due, so can say our due. If you can have me, oh my, what I put can. So you try to car to take you. Yeah. When you hold on, yes, what did you say? But the couple can't say behind it, please.
Oh, of
Hello?
course. Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, Ishaka Sharif. My name is Mohammed Donzo Fofana Jr.
Yeah, Mr. Donzo. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I would like to. I do call you guys from the Somalia job, and I would like to say a big thanks to you, Ishaka Sharif, by every 3 times, week times, for you to come on this video, enlighten the Labyrinth people about our party. But I got a question on our common representative from local county, which is my first cousin. Because
No, that's not what we are discussing here.
She's an English woman. I don't know if she has joined the list.
We'll discuss that. We'll find another time to discuss that. Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Let's hear you.
yeah, you can know that. Yeah, I'm check for that company.
Okay. Topo Village. Okay. Okay. The party is going there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have another caller? Okay, we lost that caller. So you can place in your call on 0772 086 for the phone 97. Or the low female line on 0777 So the country is feeling the brunt when a group of people come to power with arrogance, with arrogance that they know everything, that they know the solution, when in fact they don't know anything. This is what happens. The economy is crumbling. The exchange rate has skyrocketed over 200 now to one United States dollar. And not only that, because once the exchange rate increases, the prices of goods also increase, making it unbearable for families, for business people, because no matter how the rate increases, what happens is that the business people will not obviously lose. Business people, what they do, they transfer the burden to the consumer. The consumer are you that go to the market to buy, right? You that go to the market to buy, whether in retail or in wholesale. So once the rate skyrockets, the government, I mean the business people will transfer the burden of that shift to you, the consumer. And that is what we are experiencing right now. That's what we are experiencing right now. And so the government continues to lie. The government continues to lie. And I will end with this topic, right? Uh the Minister of Public Works. The Minister of Public Works is all around making statements, undermining or the George Weah government, making all sorts of statements to bring the George Weah administration to public disrepute. The latest statement was that he said the government under George Weah moved over $29 million from the funding that should have gone to the Tapeta to Zredru Road corridor pavement to different priority. You see, let's take this call before we continue that. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, welcome to the CDC Hour. Let's hear you.
Yes, I'm Dave. I'm calling from Lower My TV.
Yes, let's hear
You
you.
know, the due payment is very important. But you are saying something. I experienced something on the highway from Grand Bassa to Sino
Okay.
in recent days. My brother, the harassment is heavy. Liberians are suffering in that place. The police, the immigration,
Yeah, excuse me. They
and
said from Basso to River says they said there are more than 9 to 10 checkpoints on the road already.
from there to Sano is 9 checkpoints. Imagine before reaching to the boundary between River and Grand Bassa, they have 2 gates right there. It's just a stone throw. And every gate, motorcycle are being charged 300 or 500. Sometimes they say 1,000. And this is what's happening. I'm telling you, I felt the thing. Everywhere you go, harassment. How can the immigration man ask for motorbike document? How can I call it the DA man ask for motorbike document? When the man said, but the motorbike document, I want to take a photocopy. He said, we don't want photocopy, or else you pay 1,000 before you can go. I'm telling you, the harassment is too much. I'm so annoyed and I about to go to the shooting because what I'm saying, I will do a photo, a video of it, and I will send it to you on your station so you can monitor what is happening.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much
Yeah, thank you.
for the observation. We'll be waiting for you. So quickly, at the end of this show, the Public Works Minister said the government under George Weah, our government, because we take responsibility for our actions. He said the government under George Weah moved over $29 million from the funding, from the World Bank funding that should have gone to the pavement, the rehabilitation of this Tapeta to Zredru Road. And the minister lied. It is a blatant lie, a blatant falsehood manufactured by the government to continue to lie in governance. So, in fact, the crux of the matter is World Bank funding for roads do not go to the government. Those monies are expanded by those multilateral institutions World Bank funding, for example, the corridor between Zreju to Tapeta to Zreju, will be controlled by the World Bank. The contractors will all be selected by between the World Bank and the government of Liberia. But funding will not come to the government. So, in essence, the Minister of Public Works, Mr. Roland Lafayette Giddings, is directly accusing the World Bank of corruption. Because if you say $29 million was moved from the World Bank, from the project money to other activities, it means that it is the World Bank that took the money from there. So the government and the World Bank, the World Bank now should be asking the government for clarity. We will expand on this more on Friday. It is a very important topic. The government of Liberia, via the Ministry of Public Works, is accusing the World Bank of corruption, of stealing $29 million from Liberia's development fund, made available by the same World Bank. So the World Bank will need to ask the government for clarity. The government, through the Public Works, will need to make a clarity on that statement of the Public Works Minister. People should not be giving the latitude to just make reckless statements. No. Because you want Minister of Public Works who ending projects left by the former government. You just all around the place and making all sorts of unwarranted statements. You're accusing the World Bank of stealing, because you cannot accuse the government of George Weah of stealing 29 million, because the money 29 million did not come to George Weah government. No, it did not come. It is the World Bank that expanded the money. And so once you say the money was stolen, it means that it is World Bank that stole the money. We will expand more on that on Friday of this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're there, this is the CDC Hour you've listened to on Kings FM 88.5 and Cloud TV. On that note, we have come to the end of today's edition of the program, the CDC Hour. You can join me on Friday for a brand new edition of the CDC Hour. Until then, I say thank you for listening. I'm Ishaka Sheriff, your presenter. Bye-bye.
Y'all move on the road, the punch giant ready to take over. Y'all move on the road, be Papa coming again. Y'all move on the road, Papa Georgie coming again. Y'all move on the road, Mama Joe coming again. Move on the road, see Tisha coming again. Now the whole country giant coming soon. Better move on the road. I say you're better move your road. It's about to get away.
Many thanks to E. Saga Sherry, who brought you the program CDC Hour. Do join the station on Friday for another fresh presentation. You tune to King's Radio 88.5. We are live and direct from the nation's capital, Maruba. This Wednesday to the max, the 28th day in the month of May.